Good afternoon. I'm Alison David here with Glass Online. Today we're speaking with Martin Torno from Forglass, based in Poland. Martin's going to give us firstly an overview of the company. Nice to see you. How are you?
It's nice to see you, Alison. Thank you for inviting me. Forglass, first and foremost, is an engineering and technology company that supplies glass melting technologies to the European market and elsewhere. I would also say that it's an incredible team of engineers, both experienced veterans of the glass industry, as well as young engineers. And all of that is immersed in an environment of creativity. I think it is that creativity that's responsible for a lot of the innovations that I'm sure you're gonna probably ask me about today.
I am, in fact, and the first thing I want to ask you is, can you tell us something about the company's revolutionary furnace design?
Well, I cannot tell you much in terms of technical parameters of the furnace, but I can say that it has been tested. The variety of innovations are now being tested with mathematical modeling. And in our tests, the results, which are very promising, show an approximately 15% reduction in energy consumption, but also reduction in both CO2 and NOx emissions. So it's both good for the producers in terms of cost of energy, but it's also good for the environment because it reduces those harmful emissions.
What about other innovations that are on the boil at the moment, on the go?
Well, there are several. Perhaps before I move on to other innovations, I would say one more thing about the new furnace, the revolutionary furnace that Forglass wants to introduce to the market, is that it is not very far from proven technologies. So it can be installed in existing factories without modification of the plant. And it can be erected quite quickly. It's totally comparative with an existing furnace. So those savings really come from the very creative design of the furnace itself, but it can be implemented in any plant. Now, as far as other innovations, Forglass is known for innovation in the area of automation. So our batch plants division has introduced a number of innovations this year, one of which is what we call an intelligent scraping conveyor. It's called Smart Scraper. And it's new in the sense that it seamlessly connects with Industry 4.0 solutions so that the machine can communicate with other machines in the plant and prevent breakdowns that normally occur with current technology. The Smart Scraper uses special sensing devices that allow it to monitor the loads and slow down or even stop the machine if it senses an overload, protecting itself from breakdown, essentially. There was another innovation that I think also interests a lot of glass producers, and that is a crusher, which is a selectable grain size crusher. So it produces an extremely low amount of dust, and it provides very uniform crushing of the collet. It's part of the Forglass PCR collet system.
I understand that Forglass aims to revolutionize the industry's business rules, I guess, by, we'll say, sharing inventions. What do you mean by that? And what, of course, has led the company to the decision? Because I'm sure you're not going to share, trade secrets.
Right. Well, that's not exactly the same as sharing trade secrets, but to really understand our approach to this, one must look at the history of Forglass. And Forglass is a company that was formed by 5 companies, diverse companies from the glass industry, and the 5 current owners of Forglass have equal shares and equal input in the business. And that philosophy has translated now to doing the same thing in the industry. In other words, rather than fighting over market share, we intend to support other furnace designers with sharing this technology, allowing them to implement that technology with their clients so that everyone can benefit. Because when you think about savings of energy and reduction of emissions, we all benefit when that happens broadly.
Personally, I think that's a fantastic philosophy. Thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I think that one important thing to add to this, I mentioned it earlier about creativity, because in our industry, creativity is not something that is easily encouraged. I think the industry as a whole is rather conservative, and rightly so, because we're working with a lot of very dangerous machines and dangerous substances. So a certain amount of conservatism is required. At the same time, when the philosophy of the company is to blend the line between the creative and the technical, the environment at Forglass is one that fosters creativity among people.
Thank you, Martin. Very nice to speak with you, and I'm sure we'll see you soon. I hope to see you perhaps at Vitrum next year.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, and thank you again for inviting me to this conversation.